Khumalo comes in 8 till 9.
We get some useful knowledge. Kalodiscopia.
9 till 10. We take a look in Africa
And beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla.
and we close it up with some love. The Heartlines.
With Shailen Dikumana. 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa.
Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa.
It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising.
Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9.
Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis,
And the voices that shape the day.
At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people,
And the things that make Africa smile.
12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories,
And the perspective you won't hear anywhere else.
The Upside, 1 till 4,
Live and real.
with Tepuho Likweleni and Nompumelelo Ngubeni.
Tamengubene talks money. Africa in business. 4 till 5 p.m.
5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color.
Vue d'Afrique with Joel Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif.
Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m.
Maria Khumalo comes in 8 till 9.
We get some useful knowledge. Kalodiscopia.
9 till 10. We take a look in Africa.
And beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla.
And we close it up with some love. The Heartlines.
With Shailen Dikumana. 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa.
Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa.
It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising.
Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9.
Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis,
And the voices that shape the day.
at mid-morning. We get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people,
And the things that make Africa smile.
12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories,
And the perspective you won't hear anywhere else.
the upside.
Central African Time. Buju alongside One Day Cole with that one title Kenkele. Before that, we had Starfell with Trust Me. This taking us to the west region of our beautiful African continent, particularly looking at Nigeria and Togo respectively. If you've just joined us, welcome to it. Heartlines with Shailen Dikumana. The team that is the team of Tsepiso Magwetla, and that show coming in every weekday between 9 and 10 p.m. in Central African Time. Africa World Hour. This is Heartlines. Shailen Dikumana keeps you company all the way through to the top of the next morning. And what we're going to be talking about today, by the way, if you're not familiar with this show, is that we address we address conversations that matter most to us. We address the conversations that tug at our heartstrings. Sometimes it is love, but sometimes we talk about the things that matter. Perhaps fashion matters to you. And so we'll be talking about fashion today. We're going to be touching base with a sensational entrepreneur. She's also a philanthropist. She's an award-winning philanthropist in actual fact, and the founder of newly launched Valise M Boutique. And we're going to be talking to her and just gauging her understanding of African excellence. I think one thing that stands out for me about Valise Boutique is the reality of promoting African chic, right? African regalia. For the most part, we've reserved those for weddings. We've reserved those for special occasions. Why can't we wear them on the daily? Why can't we wear our print, our patterns, our brands on the daily? Why do we look for other kinds of clothing is the question. So we will look at her love for fashion and, of course, touch base with your love for fashion as you send through your questions. Finding us on WhatsApp +27 6340 69126. Listen, if you want to show us a brand, you're saying, Shayla, I gauge, I understand, I'm fully present when it comes to African fashion, and I can lead you to the right places and spaces. Find us on social media, on X and on Instagram, as well as on TikTok. You're looking for @ChannelAfrica1, and on Facebook, I was about to say another name, which is not true, on Facebook. You can find us at Channel Africa Radio. For now, let's get back into the music. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Apart from interacting with the conversations that are coming, let me know how your day was. We're simmering out of our beautiful Wednesday evening, and so I'd love to hear from you. Have you been? How's the day been treating you? Are you okay? Do you want to vent? I'm here for you. +27634069126.
Zilipendwa na Abedi Jean de la Croix.
Uzuri na ukubwa wa kazi yako unatokana na nini?
Kwanza kabisa ni kujifunza vitu mbalimbali, lakini pia kuvaa uhalisia wa jamii kile inachopitia, kujifunza vitu vipya, lakini pia kufanya mazoezi na kumshirikisha Mungu katika career yangu ya muziki.
Bila shaka. Je, management na wadhamini vile vile wana nafasi kubwa au wana nafasi gani katika mafanikio yako kikazi?
Niseme labda wana asilimia 99 katika mafanikio ya muziki wangu, management au mabosi wangu.
Umewahi pia kupokea salamu za pongezi au ukosoaji kuhusiana na muziki wako?
Nilishapokea nyingi sana kutoka sehemu mbalimbali, DRC, Tanzania na East Africa nzima kwa jumla.
Tuzungumzie kuhusu ukosoaji sasa. Unajisikia pale unapokosolewa?
Najisikia vizuri sana. Unajua ukipokosolewa ina maana wewe sio binadamu wa kawaida, kwa sababu atakayekosolewa pekee ni Mungu.
Zilipendwa kila Jumamosi kuanzia saa 12 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati hadi saa 1 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati.
Heartlines, 10 p.m. to midnight Central African Time with Shayla Ndikumana.
Kukosana na wewe sikutarajia, kuwa mbali na wewe akimeniacha babaya. Kutengana na wewe imenibadilisha sana, nimetamani nilewe akina kunywa na sasa mataambia nini watu Regina. Haya mapenzi yalinoga na tulipeana majina. Leo baby kesho tomato mitandao ikaleta vitina. Ukawa uambiliki na mikichwa changu na kikavimba. Nikawa sisemezeki, inauma lakini nitazoea. Inauma lakini nitazoea. Hali ya mwanaume duniani ni kuzoea. Hali ya binadamu duniani ni kuzoea. Ndio nashindwa. Densi tulikamata hadi usiku wa manane. Kesi tukakubali tutapendana milele. Nyimbo tulizopenda zanikumbushanga wewe. Kamisi na baika uliwacha na nusanga ndio nilale. Tutaambia nini watu Regina? Haya mapenzi yalinoga na kumbuka tukila bata na bia. Pate after pate, shetani gani alituingilia, akatuweka asanda, hilo vito palimenifikisha. I'll never love another, na inauma lakini nitazoea. Inauma lakini nitazoea. Hali ya binadamu duniani ni kuzoea. Hali ya mwanaume duniani ni kuzoea. Ndio nashindwa. Inauma lakini nitazoea. Inauma lakini nitazoea. Hali ya binadamu duniani ni kuzoea. Hali ya mwanaume duniani ni kuzoea. Ndio nashindwa.
Love music, love culture, love life. Because you on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Yeah. Tell me, baby girl, how you do? Oh? Baby, tell me, make I know how you do. Oh? Baby, tell me how much I could pay. Oh? I will go fly, go anywhere for holiday. Oh? This love, now I Angola. This love, now one thing, yo. They could play like with the movie, oh. They can play where you go, they play mommy, oh. Mommy, oh, mommy, oh, mommy, oh. Girl, now me go, they play daddy, oh. Girl, if you be baby, I be nanny, oh. See how she fine like a granny, oh. Yeah, show my kalangolo, oh. Why, show my what to roll it, oh. Baby, make a day where you day, oh. Come make a show you special loving. Show my kalangolo, oh. Why, show my what to roll it, oh. Baby, make a day where you day, oh. Come make a show you special loving.
Anywhere you day, I go there, oh. Long as I day with my baby, oh. Waiting them don't know, them go here too. Kiss me, baby, make them vex you. Carry the matter for their head, you. Kiss me, baby, make I rest you. Nobody do me like you do. Kiss me, baby, make them vex you. This love, now Alangolo. This love, now one ting yo. This love, now Alangolo. This love, now one ting yo.
Baby girl, I love you, sit down on it. Baby girl, come run up on it. I know you love this beat, sweet melanin. Oh, Ghana, you could be my sweet senorita. American girl, come wine up for me. My Jamaican girls, come wine up for me. My Jota girls, come wine up for me. My Caribbean girls, come bust up for me. Yo, show my kalangolo, oh. Why, show my what to roll it, oh. Baby, make a day where you day, oh. Come make a show you special loving.
London boy, come give it to me. All my Lagos boys, them spend it on me. Jamaican boys, them jam it for me. My American boys, them swag it for me, yeah.
Show my kalangolo, oh. Why, show my what to roll it, oh. Baby, make a day where you day, oh. Come make a show you special loving.
This love, now Alangolo. This love, now one ting yo. This love, now Alangolo.
It is 17 minutes after 10 p.m. Central African Time. DJ Spinel, Wizkid, and Tiwa Savage on this one titled Dislove. Before that, we had Bien with that one titled Inauma. Welcome to Heartlines. Shayla Ndikumana keeps you company, and I'm with you all the way through to midnight. So top of your Thursday morning in Central African Time, it will be the 5th of June. I can't believe we're in the winter. Speaking about winter, we're going to be getting to our first conversation. But before we do that, let me read you a quote. And this is by Mahatma Gandhi. And this one says, "Where there is love, there is life. If you love fashion, where there is fashion, there is life." And that's our very first conversation. Today, we have the honor of sitting down with Venolia Mabele, a visionary entrepreneur and award-winning philanthropist and the founder of newly launched Valaise M Boutique, known for her commitment to African excellence, inclusive empowerment, and bold elegance. Venolia brings not just fashion, but a movement to life. Listen, some exciting things are happening with this particular boutique, and we're going to be discussing that with Venolia. But first and foremost, let's welcome her to the show this evening. Venolia, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Heartlines.
Thank you so much, and welcome to the hello to the listeners.
I should be saying welcome back, right? Because this conversation is an ongoing one, ma'am. The first time we had you here, you were about to launch your Midrand store. You were telling us about the brand, and you were just walking us through why African fashion, why you were picking the athleisure route, some of the types and styles of fashion that you have. And now we're going to sit again and not just look at the fashion, but look at the importance of African brands growing in the fashion industry and why we need such brands such as yours. So congratulations. I see that a new store is going to be unlocked. There's a whole ribbon cutting ceremony happening. We're going to touch base on that. Let's just talk about you. How are you feeling? How are you viewing the progress? What's been happening?
Okay, if we need to go to how I'm feeling at the moment, it is chock-a-block. I'm really losing my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they say if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. Yeah, because I mean, we did. It's not like it's the first time we'll be doing a launch. We did the launch when we were at Mall of Africa, but this time it's bigger, because this is our permanent store, and I think that's why it's so daunting and so exciting at the same time because we want it to be perfect. We want our clientele, especially the potential ones that are in the south region of Johannesburg, to really see us for who and what we are trying to sell to them, the concept and the storytelling of our brand. I think that's why it's so overwhelming and so exciting at the same time. So yeah, it's really crazy. I'm having sleepless nights because we're just working around the clock.
Vanolia, I have been giving you renditions of my interpretation of the name of your brand, right? It was Velays, listen, ma'am, I'm about it. But correct me, please. Correct me. Do I need correction?
Yes, you do need correction, honey. I heard Velays. I'm like, it is Velaze M.
Villas. But you see,
Velaze.
I knew I was off the mark by a little bit. And I'll say to you this, as I'm saying this, I'm like, Sheila, they're going to catch you out, right? Let's talk about the name.
Sheila.
Yes, it's giving that. It's giving that. Give us correction and give us interpretation of Velaze. What is it about? Talk to us about the name.
Okay. So the name is actually an ancestral name. It's a name that comes from my aunt who has passed. And when I was born, she had already left our beautiful earth, and I was named Velaze. And it's a beautiful family name, that we hardly use it. It's used mostly by the family, especially us when we're growing up in schools. They used to always refer to us as of our English names. But I loved my name so much, and as I'm growing up, I'm loving the name so much, even more. But the legacy, I think, more than anything, is what made me feel that we need to just honor this name as a family legacy, as boldness, because my aunt also was a bold person, from what I hear, because I never got the chance to meet her. But yeah, so when I look at it and how it embodies the brand, it's about empowerment, it's about femininity, in the business space and owning this space, yet catering for both men and women, therefore carrying forward the baton of the legacy of the Velaze M. So it's more of not just a clothing brand, but a family and exclusivity, which is why we premium, we're exclusive. Like, we don't sell 100 or 1,000 pieces. We sell a few items that, if you're wearing that item or that piece, you're the only one. You're probably the only one in Joburg, because maybe another person is from Pretoria or the Vaal Triangle, especially since we're in the south of Joburg. We have many customers that are coming from around, four corners of the Gauteng region. Yes,
I am tempted to call you Velaze for the rest of this conversation. Will you allow me to do so?
With pleasure.
Absolutely. You spoke about legacy. And I think one thing that I do want to tap into is the importance of fashion in the African continent. I mean, you think of the plethora of styles, of textures across the continent. However, it almost seems like whenever the fashion industry is trying to rise, there's this diminishing factor that comes into play, be it the economy, be it perhaps the lack of access to market. It almost feels like the economy, or rather the fashion industry, is stifled from time to time. What do you think the importance of brands such as yours, Velaze M, staying in the limelight, staying in that prime sphere is so important, not just for money making, but for the storytelling of the African that will live generation and generations long?
You are so right about that. Hey, it's a saturated market, yet there is still a lot of room for growth and a lot of room for even more designers to come into the space. So I think the one of the best ways to thrive in the space is to stay consistent in your storytelling, to stay consistent in your target market and your vision and concept, and not be overwhelmed by everything that is happening, all the noise that is happening around you. If the economy is going bad, or if there's new entrepreneurs or new fashion designers that are rising, and you also now want to move your concept but staying true to who you are, there are many designers that we can actually make reference of, that have stayed true to who they are. You look at Fendi, for example. Fendi is actually a traditional brand. But now it's more into the modern. It's taken into the modern context. You look at Makosa. Makosa is also rooted to what they're about, and the story behind Makosa is also very inspirational. So I think what's important for business owners, for the fashion industry, as a boutique owner or a brand owner, for you to stay true, consistent to your storytelling and your vision. Because if you're consistent, then you'll keep on perfecting your story. You'll keep on perfecting your craft and your vision, and you will keep on re-engineering it instead of wanting to change and going with the wind. I think that's what will really just take us far. As you remember, we did have this conversation. It was last year, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Last year. Yes, we had the conversation. And even till this day, I think it was around the same time last year, we're still having the same conversation, no matter what the economy is telling us. I mean, it's tough now. The bucket spent in malls has decreased a bit, and we are also trying to figure out what exactly is the reason for that, because those are the stats that were being communicated. But we're staying premium. Would rather just when the economy becomes tougher, you try to adjust your pricing strategy, but you keep to your concept, which is, for us, it's quality when it comes to textures. It's addressing the needs of our middle and elite markets. What they need. They need exclusivity. They need the highest quality. They need that shopping experience. So when you come into a store, you're not just walking into any store. You're walking into a shopping experience. When you get there, you get greeted by our staff personnel. You get offered a glass of bubbles or whatever that you consume. So it becomes a whole beautiful shopping experience. And I think that's what, for us, something that sets us apart, and that we are not going to change when it comes to our value offering.
Vilaze, is premium always expensive? And I'm asking this because I did a bit of research, right, on these premium brands, specifically European premium brands. And I found that the cost of production versus what you pay in the store is a mega difference. When I say mega difference, if we are to scale it on the euro, perhaps, you're looking at 220, or rather 2 euros 20 cents to make a watch, and this is scaled up to 2,000 euros in store. Now, that kind of difference is startling for me, and I tend to question, is premium always expensive, or is it just the illusion of exclusivity that bulks up the price?
I personally think that it is the illusion. And I don't see anything wrong or fault the brand owners for going that route, because remember, brand positioning is all up to the entrepreneur, and they are selling. If you buy into their idea of premium, they didn't put a gun against your head. So if Louis Vuitton says, we are charging 60K for our handbag because it's exclusive, even though it's made out of the same genuine leather that Velazzi M is also made out of. But their brand positioning, because if you look at these premium, like, these exclusive luxury brands, in fact, let's call it luxury brands. If you look at their strategy, it's more about brand positioning and where they want to fit into the market and catering to a certain demographic or a certain class, social class. So definitely with us, I think I mentioned this all the time. Even last year when I was there, that was my story, and I'm still sticking to it. That we when I started the brand, it was from me being a consumer all my life. I've been a consumer of beautiful things, of luxury things, and purely because of the quality behind it. And I would look at what exactly sets this, for example, a handbag apart from the rest. And I would look at, the detail that goes into it, how they've meticulously went into putting that label, putting that soft satin inside. It's all about detailing and the experience of the customer when they buy that item. However, is it worth the rands and cents that I'm paying? How about creating a similar product that is offering the same luxury, the same comfort and status as those luxury brands, but price it correctly, or price it, in a more modest way that is affordable to most of our target of our market, especially in South Africa. South Africa, if you look at our economy and our society, we do not. It's not the majority that can afford those luxury products. And what are we saying to the rest that actually loves the luxury products, that do not necessarily want to spend thousands and thousands, tens and thousands of rands on a handbag, but at least, in middle somewhere, but or just a fraction of that, but still getting the same quality. So that's exactly what we are about at Velazzi M. Premium quality, because quality never goes out of fashion. So we are about premium quality. We're about pricing it at the right price that also does not break your bank, and break our business, but for everyone to be happy and for you to also feel the status and also that exclusivity.
The voice of the founder, I suppose the brainchild of Velazzi M Boutique. This is Venolia Velazzi Mabele joining us this evening. And she's not just an entrepreneur. Listen, she's an award-winning philanthropist and, of course, the founder of Velazzi M Boutique. Let's talk about brands, right? You speak heavily on brands, and I find that really beautiful. You spoke to the reality that if a brand wants to price something at a particular price point, it's not a crime, right? They've built a structure around it, and if you're buying into it, then so be it. You are also a brand of note, a former Miss United Nations International. You are an award-winning philanthropist. How have you used the brand Venolia Mabele to sort of catapult your brand into the right I suppose the right markets, the right target audience, if you will?
Well, my brand has always been more about sophistication, class, and that's what I've been associated with. If you look at even the comments whenever I post on social media, it will be, oh, classy, oh, elegant, So that's where, so that's how I've positioned the brand Velazzi M. It's more about sophistication, it's about elegance, it's about that lady who wants to, to get the best, but still be minimal and classy. It's not about being loud, but it's about the finer things. And I've used my brand to amplify that. I am the face of the brand, because a lot of people can relate when they see me. And I've noticed that whenever I post a different model, I get the different response, of which the brand is still new, but we are hoping, of course, we are going to get to a point where the brand is known for itself and not just for the face Venolia Mabele. But I do use the same the two brands in collaboration to boost or bolster each other. The brand is still because I won the title when 2020. So even Velazzi M, the work that I do behind Velazzi M and myself and my work as a philanthropist, those are still elevating the brand Venolia. And, all these brands are feeding into each other. So that's why I'm making sure that I do not let the other suffer. They need to just keep pushing each other. If the other one is is struggling a bit, then the other one will. It's like business. If your other business is not doing well, then you know that you can get some capital funding from the one that is doing well. So
Yeah.
that's how we've been going with this. Yeah.
Let's talk about fashion for a little bit, right? You said something that sort of caught my attention. The commentary that comes when you post on social media will be elegant, chic, classy, and then you made mention of being minimalistic in your elegance. What's 2025 looking like fashion wise? Are we seeing more minimalism? Are we seeing chunky wear? What's the new elegant?
The new elegant really is minimal. It's minimal. It's your accentuating your silhouettes. You can still even go like your long dresses. It's no longer about going the mini and then you look good. It's all about anything goes as long as it's elegant, it's classy. You find a young woman, wearing her long maxi dress, looking very elegant and stylish and not like auntie or grandma. But there were times when if you rock a long dress, you would look out of place and not even feel like,
Yeah.
you're a young person. But now elegance is all about just you and how you carry your clothing item. Because we are still going back now to a lot of your 80s styles inspired. You see there's a lot of baggy your suits, so we are covering up more now instead of revealing more. We're covering up. You're doing your oversized jackets, you're doing your oversized pants. Those are in fashion now, and less details. But you can have the details in the textiles, but not necessarily in a lot of accessories or a lot of design on the outfit itself, but different textures of the textile. That works a lot.
Vinolia, as you say that anything goes as long as you're minimalistic, and of course the pattern wear or the boldness of the outfit is kept to a minimum. I can think of a number of things that don't necessarily work with that very same descriptor, So perhaps walk the young, or perhaps even the middle-aged, whoever the woman is, through what they ought to think when they're thinking fashion, when they're thinking being elegant in 2025 and the African continent. What are some of the statement pieces? What are some of the staples they need to have in their cupboards?
I would say, your hats, your high tea hats, your nice shirt, straight, slim cut, your high waisted maxi skirt. That works. That is timeless. It's a timeless piece. You go for your long dress. Maybe a heart shape up on the upper silhouette, and then you go with your silhouette. You make it slim, and then it goes flowy on the hips. So those are the things that we're going with. Bulky hips, giving it that shape. That's what is in at the moment. And I think it's also timeless, because we look at some of our clothes from our grandmothers, and you find that some of the pieces that we're actually wearing and loving now, they're actually inspired by the 60s and the 50s fashion. I have a fur coat that I actually stole from my grandma's closet, and I was like, look at this piece.
Yeah.
The fur coat is timeless. It's a timeless piece, and it's one of those pieces that you could wear at a wedding, at a party, or even a funeral. So it fits in for every occasion. It depends on what you're wearing. So you can wear it with a dress, an evening dress. You can wear it with your suit. So those are some of the pieces that you need to really have. A trench coat, very, very classic. You each and every year you have a trench coat. I promise you'll never go wrong. You wear your nice outfit, even if you're wearing a summerish outfit, and you throw your trench coat over, and you look elegant, and you've got your stilettos, your pointy stilettos, and you are up there, and you still the show. So I think those are some of the pieces that we need to just have in our closet. A trench coat, you need to have a fur coat. I'm thinking winter now, because my head is wrapped around winter.
Yeah.
And those high tea hats, those are also a winner.
Let's talk about African fashion. I think one thing that you did exude the last time we spoke to you was the importance for excellence and brilliance in this space. You know, the necessity for African. I wanted to say fashionista, but that's not the right word. Fashion designers is what I'm looking for. Yes, for them, but also fashionistas too, to display African excellence. What's the story now? Are you seeing more of this excellence when it comes to the African continent? Are you seeing us penetrate our own spaces? Because I know that we are becoming popular globally, right? There is this attraction towards the African continent, not just for its music, but for its culture, you know, for its wear, for the regalia. So there is somewhat the spotlight on the African continent, but are we consuming our own fashion? Are we enjoying our own elegance and excellence?
Shayla, I think we still have a long way to go. Hey, there's still a long way to go, especially in terms of from a customer or consumer's perspective. There's still a long way to go. However, I see the entrepreneurs, the fashion designers. There's a lot of confidence in terms of how they're penetrating the market, how they want to stand out and be seen globally. We see a rise of a lot of, I beg your pardon, of a lot of South African brands. You know, we see them globally. Some of them, we see them not necessarily where we want to see them, you know, where they are being counterfeited, which is also something that really needs to be looked into. And you know, in order for Africans to rise, we need to really support the genuine brands. We need to support the actual pioneer of that brand and not go for the counterfeited products, because that is just killing the brand. It's killing the business of this pioneer, and it's also killing the economy, you know, because whoever that is producing is the one that is now making more money than the person who's actually behind the brand. So, but in a nutshell, I see business owners, designers doing amazing in that space. Because, for example, with Velaze M, our vision is to penetrate the premium brand space globally. You know, for us to also get and to compete there with your Michael Kors. And you know, whenever I make that example, people go like, why do you refer to to the international? It's because international is the way to go. If you want to go big, you need to think outside of Africa. You need to think big, but be willing to start small. And that's where we are positioning ourselves. We're not just wanting to penetrate in the South African market, but we want to go globally. And there's already talks and interest from other African countries that wants us to come to their countries and open our stores there, which is really exciting because we're still really brand new, but there's already that interest because of, I suppose, of our brand positioning and our unique value proposition. So yeah, that's where I see the entrepreneur is at. But when it comes to the customers are loving our South African and African brands. However, the mindset needs to change in terms of supporting fake goods. I think that we need to do away with. But they're really loving the South African products. Yeah.
So let's talk about Mall of the South rather. This will house your flagship boutique. What symbolism is sort of prompted you to make that decision? I know that there is a special warm place in your heart for that area. Let's talk about that.
Well, Mall of the South is closer to home, much closer to home, because I am born and bred in the Vaal, which is south of Johannesburg. So yeah, Mall of the South used to be one of those malls when it, when it was developed. We were like, wow, something really amazing in the South. Though it was not that close to home, but it was a mall that if you feel like you want to get something unique, you want to go to a fancy restaurant, then you can go there. I mean, I took my mom when it literally just opened to Mall of the South for Mother's Day, and we were really excited, to be there. And but apart from it being closer to home, the surrounding of Mall of the South is catering to our target market, if I could put it, because you've got the likes of your Aspen Hills, you've got your Eye of Africa, your Winchester, so and it's one of those places, those gems that if you look at it, the people there, you can ask yourself, where do they go shopping if they really want to go unique, if they want to go, for what caters to their needs. They would rather drive all the way to Sandton. We get a lot of customers who would come and say, oh my goodness, thank you. You literally brought Sandton to us. I'm like, okay, that's good to hear. That's so positive to hear. To know that actually they would drive all the way to get certain products that they would not necessarily find. And I think that's what the mall was also looking at when they looked at our brand and decided to take us in to be part of their family, to say we are not, necessarily offering what is already there in the mall, but we're coming with a different strategy. We're coming with a different brand positioning, which also caters to a certain target market, which maybe they are not necessarily meeting. Because, you want as a business or as a mall, you want to be able to attract as much feet as possible, and collaborating or housing different brands that caters to different markets helps in that as well. So yeah, we one of the I would say the premium offering brands, even though our pricing strategy also caters to your middle and your middle market. Shayla. So we do get a lot of people that come in and want to spend their money with us. We're not just going up the roof when it comes to our pricing strategy. We also offer lay-bys. We're also now looking into pay shops so that people can afford our products, because we really want South Africans to wear our products because they are amazing, and they're stylish. The quality is of highest premium quality, because I'm more about textiles. I don't want to buy something which the fabric is just going to be worn out in a few months or so you do find customers that actually walk in and say, I love the quality. One thing that drew me to the store is your quality. So that's why we created those platforms where even though your low income owners can actually afford our brands by using different payment platforms that we offer.
Vanolia, I am about to test. Listen, we've sort of simmered down just before we get into this beautiful, I suppose, opening that you'll have on the 6th of June. We have sort of simmered down toward the end of the conversation. But I can't let you go without quizzing you. It's just tradition. It's just something we do and we like it. So I'm going to quiz you on African fashion, and it will be a true or false, right? And I'll give you the answers on the spot. How's that?
Okay, let's go for it.
So question number 1, the kente cloth was traditionally worn only by Ghanaian royalty.
True.
Absolutely, because it was reserved for the Ashanti kings and important ceremonies. Question number 2, Ankara fabric originated in West Africa.
Ankara.
Yes.
Ankara, false.
True, well done. You're correct. I shouldn't have said true. That's contradictory. Correct. You are correct. So it is false because it was inspired by Indonesian bakit and then introduced into Africa by the Dutch traders. Question number 3, or rather statement number 3, true or false? The colors used in African fashion have no specific meanings.
False.
Absolutely, because we are about telling stories, so that can't possibly be true. Question number 4, yes. Laduma is known for modern Zulu beadwork.
False.
Absolutely, because we know Maxhosa produces more than that, like no ways.